Okay, hello YouTube. I want to talk to you today about the couple of heavyweight fights we had over the weekend. Ngannou and Joshua and uh, the other two guys, Zhang and Joseph Parker. But before I do that, I want to thank Weekend Warrior again, and we want to encourage all our subscribers to go subscribe to him. He has been really tremendous for and with Joe, and we're very, very thankful to him. And we hope that the people that really like Joe will go over and subscribe to him as well. He has a lot of training drill videos, and you get to see his progression as an adult getting into boxing, and it's amazing. So go check the Weekend Warrior out. If you have trouble finding him, if you just type it in, if you go to our YouTube homepage, if you go down to our preferred subscriber list, you'll see the Weekend Warrior right there. And we thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And hopefully, guys, will be showing you the graciousness that he shed on Joe here pretty soon. You'll be able to see his goodness and kindness. All right, the Joshua Ngannou fight. I put a video out the other day. I said, neither one of these fights. So I didn't. There's no way I would pay-per-view any of fights like those fights that we had over the weekend. And unfortunately for you guys, it's they put a card together like that, and you think it's the best thing that's ever happened. And maybe it's good that you're unfortunate like I have, where you've got to see Sonny Liston fight. You got to see Cleveland Williams fight. You got to see Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and Kenny Norton and a whole host of guys. Larry Holmes, and on up through to the great but brief Mike Tyson era. Because if you guys would have saw any of that boxing and would have seen the four kings in the lower weight class divisions, you would really say the product you're getting today is awful. You would be right with me on that had you lived it, as I, being so old, did live. All right, it was a good knockout. Joshua knocked Ngannou down, I believe, twice, and they're both just slow. Slow, powerful punchers, but they're just slow. Muhammad Ali would have a field day with either one of those two, talking about how slow they are and how much they move like Frankenstein monster, and what they do. He would be laughing today. I can assure all of you of that. And with the other two on the second fight I'm going to mention after this one, although it was a little bit faster. The two guys were a little bit faster. Although it was a kind of a volatile, so that wasn't a brutal knockout. It probably was for a lot of you, because you've never seen real brutal knockouts before. But he got plowed. Ngannou did. And good riddance. I like Ngannou. If anybody ever deserved to be a world champion at anything, from what I've seen from him, he is so God-fearing and mild-mannered and humble. It would be him. He seems to be a wonderful guy. The way he portrays himself is great for the younger people, and much love to him, but boxing's a different sport. Although if he keeps working the craft, he can win a heavyweight boxing championship, because we don't have very good heavyweights in this era today. Now on to the second fight. Zhang, even though I forget what round it was, and I just saw the highlights to this fight, the Zhang Parker fight that I'm talking about right now. Zhang knocked Parker down, I believe, one time. I forgot what round it was, the 6th or the 9th or something. As I said, I only saw the highlights of the fight. Parker was moving lightning fast compared to the slowness of Zhang. And I believe Zhang came in weighing like 294 pounds. And he's supposed to have a lot of smart people around him. I don't know what the deal is, but I know one thing. He was fat and slow. Parker was in shape and as optimal as you're ever going to see Parker. But from what they pulled out to put on the highlight reel, nothing very exciting about that fight either. We got the fight coming up, if it takes place, of the WBC champion, who is the world heavyweight boxing champion, Tyson Fury. Usyk is not. As far as beating the man who beat the man who beat the man, that you'd have to give it to Fury. However, most of you think that Usyk is so fast, and I'm not seeing that either. But I believe Usyk can pull this thing out and win. But right now, and this will change up to the fight, I'm not going to pick a winner. I'm going to say a draw. And a draw would be the best candidate, because it would set up a second fight. And these people that run boxing love the money. So maybe Zhang came in weighing almost 300 pounds and dreadfully out of shape, so that a Parker fight could be set up with Anthony Joshua or Usyk or Fury, if that fight doesn't take place. It's amazing how this sport works, isn't it? And it's amazing that we're not seeing big surprises any longer, especially in the heavyweight division. Both the fights were, you had a short fight that was not very interesting, and you had a longer fight that was not that interesting. And I'm going to keep critiquing boxing as long as defense takes the whole day and offense is just 10, 15, 20% of the game plan. And boxing is just going to continue to go downhill until the offense is the vast majority of the mode of thinking and the mode of training, and the defense is secondary. And I know that's completely flipped to today's thinking, but in yesteryear's thinking, the way I think was the rule of the day. I don't care what any of these old guys are telling you today. Back 30 or 40 years ago, they'd be thinking the other way if they're thinking defense rules the day today. All you see today is defensive maneuvers and somebody waiting to counterpunch someone. So it's just all defensive maneuvers, and therefore we're getting unexciting boxing. It's so defensive orientated that a lot of people in the professional ranks are just quitting. And you guys won't really, you younger folks won't really know this. Roberto Duran was actually really sick trying to cut weight against Leonard in Duran-Leonard 2. And I don't want to get into the aspects of the trickery to get the rematch sooner than Duran could handle it. Duran took the rematch, so that it all goes on him. But during 4 days, I believe he had drank like several gallons of chicken bouillon. And that was all he had. And he just depleted himself. And on top of that, more than likely, we don't know for sure, but I'll take it at what was being told at the time. He also had a stomach virus. But at any rate, Duran quit. And it took Duran a long time to come back from that, even with his own countrymen in Panama. People didn't used to respect that in boxing, quitters in boxing. See, you guys seem to accept it because it's become normal to you today. And today, these guys, they'll take a knee, just quit. And then, like Ryan Garcia, in that fight against Tank Davis, this guy would be years and years and fight after fight after fight back in my day to reestablish himself and to come back. This YouTube in sports. Well, it's good for sports. No, it's not. It's bringing attention back to boxing. What will save boxing, what will make boxing the premier sport of all sport yet again, is the aggressiveness and the fighting spirit and grit of these fighters. And until that happens, maybe it won't be real boxing, but maybe it'll be YouTube stuff. And nothing against the YouTube stuff. I rather enjoy a lot of it. I like the street beefs in the US and street beefs in the UK. Some of these matches I like to see, things of that nature. So I'm not putting that down, but I am telling you all, this sport is throwing its own self in the gutter for a few quick dollars instead of looking at the long run, the loyalty and the love of the sport and of the fight game. When they pull in these YouTube fights, and fights are off of social status, people socially liking you, that's not real boxing. That's exhibition fighting, in the event that that's even real. And you as fans are going to have to really decide what you want. Do you want entertainment? Is that what you're after? Because if it is, boxing is moving very quickly towards WWE style judgings and things of that nature, and another 5 years or so of going in the direction that it's going into, and the matches will all be predetermined before they start. You will have, it'll start out like wrestling did back in the 19-teens and 20s. Individual little promotions and territories that had their own world champion. And you see what that turned into with the culmination and the eventual ending process where we are today, being Vince McMahon and Total Control, and years before that it had turned fake and all the matches were predetermined. And if that's what you want, if you're looking for soap opera stuff, they can make more money doing that, and they'll be happier to hand you that product. As for us, we love exciting, brutal boxing that is offensively styled to the early, maybe mid 1980s back. But this stuff, grabbing and holding, moving slow, and we Americans can't say anything about it, and I'll tell you why. The Klitschko brothers held all the belts. Between the two of them, they held the belts for well over a decade, and they'd hit and grab and hold. Americans are, oh, they killed boxing. They hit and grab and hold. No, we killed boxing, my American brothers, because we couldn't produce anybody to go over there and beat up the slow guys that beat and held and beat and would hit and hold. We sent man after man, black, white, green, gold, and yellow, over there to challenge these guys, and they got sent home knocked out one at a time. So if you want to get boxing back, and you don't want to have where the only exciting matches you've watched in the past decade have been 3 fights between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, just keep everything the way it's going today, and it will continue to be that way for you. As for us, we don't enjoy it. As for me, almost all of these guys that I look at as big, slow, Frankenstein monster type of fighters that is ripe for 180 pound to 215 pound man to come in and just viciously demolish. The same as Willard got demolished by Jack Dempsey. And those of you that think that Willard was just a big, slow giant, go look at him, because Willard, look at other matches, not just the Jack Dempsey match. Go look at Jess Willard, and when you look at him, you would almost swear that you were looking at Tyson Fury. That man could move, and Jess Willard would mop the floor up with Tyson Fury today. Willard would mop the floor up with anybody today, any of those guys back then. They were, unbeknownst to you, with all this science and technology in this sport, they were stronger and faster and had more grit and backbone and courage than any of these guys today. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's my little rant on boxing. Not impressed with anything. Just not impressed at all. But we hope everybody has a good, blessed Sunday, and we hope that everybody has a good week filled with blessings and love being brought your way.